Hey guys, we're going to be in Acts chapter 4. Acts chapter 4, verse 32. It says, "And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and one soul. Neither said any of them that all of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common." During that time, it was just a matter of, okay, how do we solidify as a church? How do we make sure that we're able to move forward, and we're creating little small churches. This is what was happening in the early church, creating small churches. We're trying to figure out, that they didn't have, all they had was still the Old Testament, and the Old Testament pointing them to Jesus. Certainly the New Testament was being written during this time in the form of letters and all coming to them, the individual churches for them to learn from. Smaller churches would have gotten, copies of the letters that Paul wrote, the bigger churches, all of those things to teach them. But when they're first coming together, it's like, look, we need to be one. We need to take care of one another. And this is true even today, that churches need to take care of one another. But I'll get back to that in a second. But it says something very, very interesting. It says, "Neither said any of them that all of the things which he possessed was his own." They were like, this isn't a push for something like communism or socialism. Okay, I want to be very clear. All right, there has never been a system of communism that has worked in this world ever, never, not once. Okay, it's always in the an obstruction of a possession of power in such a way to become tyranny when it comes to communism, and enforced charity is destructive. It just is. It destroys everyone. Everyone ends up poor. Okay, I'm not here to do this, but bottom line is, just look at history. Just look at history. Somebody point to China. There are plenty of folks over there who are suffering and poor, and all of those things. And the only reason there is any money in China is because they're using capitalist ideologies in order to make the money, and then disperse it to the ones that they even want to. So there's this narrative there that's a very destructive narrative. But I want to get back to this early church, and a false narrative for China. But just communism, just evil, absolutely evil. Capitalism can be too. All right, no doubt about it. Materialism, capitalism can be very evil, but there's communism is the most destructive force ever to find its way into the world. It's absolutely written by the devil himself. All right. "And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and one soul. Neither said any of them that all of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things in common." Meaning this, if I had something that you needed, I was more than willing to willingly hand that over to you and to help you. If I had more than enough, I was willing to do that. It was not forced, it was not coerced. It was out of love. It was out of charity, to care for one another, to love one another, to help one another, to do, to make sure that we were on the same, that we were able to eat and to sleep well, to be protected, to help. If there's something I had that I could help you with, that I could provide for you, then I wanted to do that. That needs to be true of Christians today. We need to willingly help others, the fellow Christians, someone who desperately needs it. We need to be willing to do that, and have a have a knowledge of how to do that. All right. So when it says we had all things in common, the early church did. I want you to understand what it means. It means that they willingly gave of themselves. They said, "Listen, I got more than enough. I'm willing to give this to you, to help you individually, not to take off to somewhere where I have no idea where it's going, not to put into the hands of rich people, not to put in the hands of a political party, not to do anything like that. I'm willing to help you." Every church ought to have ministries that are set out to help others. Every church, no matter how small you are, if it's $10 a month, it doesn't matter. Have a ministry where you are helping others, and willingly helping others to better themselves, or to just simply have the very basics of life. That's called on to be a church, is to do that. I'm so thankful to be a part of a church, and I know that you are thankful to be a part of a church. Wherever you may go, if your church is giving to people, and your church is helping people, not just willy-nilly, but helping them with purpose, then I'm telling you, I know you're happy to be there. So praise the Lord. Continue to help people, continue to love people, continue to give, continue to serve. Love you guys. Bye-bye.